Welcome. My name is Webby, and I'm the founder of SoulFire Inspiration, which exists to set your soul on fire through music and conversation, all so that you're inspired to live intentionally and purposefully. This is SoulFire Fridays, where I get to extend a conversation with you. A conversation that I began on Monday by sending out an email to the subscribers of SoulFire Conversations. And by the way, you're welcome to join this community of subscribers by clicking the link that you'll find in the description of this video wherever you're watching it. This month of March, we are talking about how to stay positive in difficult times. And I'm happy to extend this conversation with you. This week, we've been focusing on a very important thing that you must begin with every time you are faced with a difficulty or you are in the midst of a difficult situation, and that is your thoughts. For you to effectively respond, or for you to respond in a positive way, or for you to find positivity in difficult circumstances, you will find that it begins with how you think. So the importance of this reflection was to help us to see how to fix our thoughts, or to speak it directly to you is to say, fix your thoughts. I'll lead with a scripture that says this. Proverbs 4:23, that's the Good News Translation. Be careful how you think. Your life is shaped by your thoughts. Everything that we do, everything that we say, how we respond, the decisions we make, they are influenced by the thoughts that we think. As a matter of fact, they all begin as a thought. Every groundbreaking invention began as a thought. Every solution that changes or impacts the lives of people began as an idea, a thought. And even during the process of evolution, to bring it from an idea into something that is tangible or that has tangible or visible effects involved the process of thinking. In fact, we tend to call these brainstorming sessions. Every song that was ever written began as a thought, an idea, an inspiration. It's just another way of saying that I thought about something and then I processed it from my thought into something that people can relate with, understand, and they can feel some type of way about. It can have some kind of impact. It's really important to understand that our mind is a battlefield, and one of the greatest wars that you'll ever fight throughout your life will actually be in your mind. Things tend to seem a lot worse in our minds, or sometimes a lot better than they are in reality. If you're faced with a difficulty, sometimes you can amplify the difficulty of that situation simply by how you think. Or if you're faced with a difficulty, let's say you're in a situation that's unideal, you can actually change how that situation looks also by how you think. You could see a problem with your eyes, but you could perceive a possibility in your mind. In fact, that's a very powerful thing to catch on to. We see with our eyes, but we perceive with our minds. We see with our eyes, but we perceive with our minds. Which is why your mind is such an important space. It's supposed to be a protected area. Just as we've read in the scripture before that says, to guard the way we think, to be careful about how we think, because our lives are shaped by our thoughts. Let me give you a practical example. Earlier this week, something that I was really looking forward to got cancelled. And of course, I felt extremely disappointed because it's something that I really wanted to do and be working towards. And I was really looking forward to it becoming a reality. Now, when it got cancelled, I had two ways of looking at it. I could start saying, the enemy is out to finish me, the devil is fighting my progress. Or I could look at it and say, you know what, it's just life. Things happen. I honestly believe that one of the most powerful things we could ever pray to receive, and this is really just my belief, this is what I feel, it's what I think. One of the most powerful things we could ever pray for is the ability to discern. There are some things that happen in our lives that are indeed the evidence of the enemy fighting us, to block us, to resist us, to puncture our progress. Use big churchy terms if you want. But there are some things that actually just happen because it's life. You've had even politicians say this thing, when they're being called to account and to explain some unscrupulous deal, that this is a smear campaign and my enemies are out to finish me. No, you're just being held to account. You had a flat tire. It happens. Human-made things will tend to have technical issues every once in a while. There's no spiritual demon trying to get you. But there is power in being able to discern when it is a spiritual thing and there are enemies out there trying to fight you and to hinder your progress, and when it's just life and things sometimes just happen because we do live in a broken and fallen world. How you perceive these things is determined by how you think. Your value system is built by how you think, how you look at life, how you see the world around you will determine how you respond to it, how you see yourself in regards to the contribution you can make to it. As a matter of fact, I should also say that when the enemy wants to deceive you and to set a trap to lead you away from the important things of your life, he doesn't force you or tie your hands behind your back or threaten you with some thing. He simply just plants a thought. And that thought is usually what we would also call a suggestion that seems reasonable, and so then it's justifiable. A little thing that you can justify, and it becomes attached to a selfish desire, and before you know it, you're right in the middle of the thing and you've fallen into the trap. He doesn't have to do anything. The truth is, he knows he can't overpower you. You're a child of God. So God has already overcome the enemy on your behalf, but you have to choose what you're going to follow. And that's all determined also by how you think. If the enemy plants an idea in your head, a suggestion, and you decide to follow through on it, then of course you will get the results of following through. But how you prevail against the enemy is by watching how you think. And I found an amazing way to meter what happens in your mind, and that's in this scripture. Philippians 4:8 says, "Finally, brothers and sisters, whatever is true, whatever is noble, whatever is right, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is admirable, if anything is excellent or praiseworthy, think about such things." I hope that you found this helpful and encouraging. I look forward to continuing this conversation with you next week. But until then, goodbye, God bless, and take care. It gets better.